Hello, everyone. Oh, see my voice. Today we're going to talk about the principles and methods of historical critical exegesis. This approach has shaped much of the modern biblical scholarship, even though it often differs from a faith-based view. It's important to understand how it works so we can better interpret Scripture. According to your boy Stanglin, the historical critical method begins with the assumption that the Bible should be studied like any other ancient text. The main principles are historical setting, human authorship, literacy development, methodological neutrality, and goal. Meaning each text is understood in its original culture and historical context. So that's just like understanding the time, the place, the when, where, who, what, when, and how. And the goal to reconstruct the meaning of the text and its original audience. You have to be able to understand that to understand really anything that you're teaching or preaching, or even just reading, like understand what God was really saying to his people at the time or whoever was speaking. Next we'll talk about methods. So the source, form, action criticism. Source criticism looks for the written sources behind the biblical text. Form criticism focuses on smaller literacy units like Psalms, parables, or Proverbs. Tries to identify their genre and their settings in a life or how they were used in worship or teaching. Like when you really think about David and when he says like many other, when he says, it was good that I was afflicted, that I may know him. And so it's like things like that, looking at where it's coming from in the walk in it. And then talking about JEDP. J, the Yahweh uses Yahweh for God. It has a vivid earthly style. The Elohist uses Elohim and emphasizes prophecy. The Deuteronomist, D, linked with Deuteronomy, focus on covenant and law. P, the priestly source, emphasizes rituals and priestly concerns. And so with all of that, historical, critical exegesis looks at the Bible historically and critically using tools like source, form, criticism, which is a different perspective, the theological approach that emphasizes inspiration, learning the history that helps understand scholarly conversation about Scripture. For me, it also highlights the importance of balancing scholarship with faith, remembering that God still speaks through his word today. And when we understand what God was saying in those times, we can relate it and put it in a practical way in these times. Like when you're really looking at different things in the Bible, and how God is speaking to his people and how it's really tailor-made for them in that time period, we're able to understand and break it down even further with those details, because then you can see a pattern in everything that we're doing, because we're still currently living out Scripture. It just may look a little differently. So that is where I'm coming from today. And it's important to have the history behind his story. And so it's no coincidence that that's what we're looking at, as far as, times have changed, but the word still remains the same. And then using the different formats of this ideology to break down the text further. That way, when you understand the origin of it, the region, because the different types of people were different, so they were spoken to differently. That's why Paul wrote multiple letters. And so understanding that everybody is not the same, but getting a further, doing a further analysis of the people allows you to understand why it was important for these people to get this. And then now, like, we're getting all of it, so diving into all of that. So that's what I have for you today, and I hope that blessed you. And yeah, come back to the next lecture.